Okay, hey everyone. Today we're going to discuss another ETF that potentially beats ULTY and YMAX when you're trying to retire early. ULTY YMAX and this dividend ETF that I want to share with you today helped me earn over $700,000 per year in dividends, as you can see below, and we're outperforming the market on a daily basis. We're up $25,000 today, or 1.19, as you can see above. That's beating the indexes. That's beating the S&P. That's beating the Dow. It's also beating the NASDAQ when you factor in margin, because that's what we do at this channel to live financially free out of our brokerage accounts. I say brokerage because you can't do this in a Roth or an IRA. So we're up 22% for the year if you're rounding, okay? 22%, the S&P's up 7, the NASDAQ's up 8. The Russell's even down 1%. So we're beating all of the indexes, living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using Yieldmax, these funds that we're going to discuss, and some margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. You can also head to my website, Unconventional Wealth Ideas. We're leading the FIRE movement here. We're doing big things here at this channel, and we're trying to stay financially free out of our brokerage accounts, stay living free away from 9 to 5 by using margin properly and by buying these funds that actually help you get ahead in your life, okay? You can't just buy a Schwab D or something like that and expect to get ahead. Also, one more announcement. I'm going to be extending the deadline for my e-guide price raise until the end of the month. So we'll be raising prices at midnight, okay? 12 o'clock on Sunday night. All right, so let's talk about, again, this fund, this dividend ETF that's potentially better than ULTY and YMAX when you're trying to retire early. All right, so these dividends from Yieldmax help us retire early because you have your job and then you get these outsized dividends or distributions which help you actually leave your job or at least power up your earnings, okay, from your job. And so my margin debt is $450,000. All of my members, I want to alert to you that I'm bringing in a $100,000 loan from PayPal. Okay, so that'll make our loans go up to about $450,000 since we started this channel. We use these dividends to qualify for loans in many cases, and also my dividends will pay back my margin debt in less than a year. So I'm not worried about this margin leverage because I can always bring in money to pay it off. I can use my dividends to pay it off, which would happen in less than a year. Or I can just simply click sell. But why would I click sell when this does not show up on a credit check to banks? Okay, my margin is good debt. It's earning me interest versus the interest that I'm charged, which is a little under 5%. Many of my members are able to negotiate their rates down as well because they bought my e-guides and they have my number. All right, so we're going to talk about this fund now. I'm trying to build it up, okay? Because when I give you this fund name, you're going to say, "Oh, really?" I think that's what you're going to say. But if you do the math, there are many reasons why this fund makes sense. I'm going to give it to you right now. And also, I'm going to give you the 3 ways that I use to maximize this fund. Okay, so we're going to talk about this fund. And without further ado, it's not OARC like we mentioned in the last video. I know y'all like that. This fund that we're going to mention is YMAG, okay? YMAG, all right? Yes, all right, but don't leave me now, okay? Don't just click out of the video because you see that this, is my big secret. All right, YMAG, I'm going to tell you why this is a big part of my portfolio. Members know it's, a top 10 holding for me. I never talk about YMAG, okay? And look, we have a 25% yield, which doesn't get people very excited. However, if you go to the total returns for YMAG, you'll see a different story. You'll see 43%. Now, look at this chart for YMAG, okay? You think that this decay is bad. Look at this chart, right? It didn't make it back to the old highs. Go look at, what the Magnificent Seven did. They made it back to the old highs roughly. This didn't even come close to that. But if you do the math from the bottom to the top here, okay, it is around a 16% move if I calculate that right, okay? 1350 to 1576. 16% move roughly with the 25% dividend. And you're getting, those 40% returns, whereas something like a Roundhill, a Magnificent Seven, this has 35%, and it actually moves up well on the chart. Look at this chart, okay, moves up well. People say, "Oh, I much rather prefer Maggie." Let me tell you why I put so much more in YMAG, okay? First of all, YMAG is the original YMAX before they added all the speculative names, all right? So that's one thing that I thought y'all might find interesting is, yeah, it doesn't have a big dividend, but you can maximize it, and I'll tell you how I do that. YMAG has the same holdings as YMAX when YMAX started, of course, and it still has the same maintenance, okay, 50% maintenance. And YMAX, as we know, it's just gotten more speculative as they've added new names into it. If you go to the YMAX website here on the YieldMax site, you'll see here's YMAG, and then here's YMAX, which has a 73% yield, which is why I think people like it. And look at the total returns, okay, 42%. And so why not go with YMAX over YMAG if you're still getting those returns? I'll explain, okay? I'll explain. YMAX is still a big holding for me, no doubt about it. So is ULTY. Let's go check out the holdings of ULTY and the returns for ULTY. You can see here the returns for ULTY on the YieldMax site are 7% with an 85% yield. All right, so that's why everyone likes YMAX and ULTY. Once again, big yields, pretty good returns. If you look at Marcos's video of the one that he and I did with ULTY, you'll see the returns are like 29% for ULTY. So keep that in mind. It depends on the metrics you use. But with YMAG, all right, here's the thing. It has the same maintenance, first of all, like I just said. So it's the same YMAX holdings that we started out with, but with the same maintenance, all right, and that's preserving a lot of our equity. First of all, it's the same maintenance, and so there's no change here. And I don't know, I think that yield can be higher for YMAG. We've seen in the past it was 45%, okay? So I think the yield can actually be higher again for YMAG. But with that same maintenance, it's not hurting our account, okay? It's keeping our available withdrawal high, which, again, I made a $50,000 deposit today, first part of loan. My available withdrawal should be a little over 400,000. Let me see what that is here. As you can see, 442, all right? So we're safe. We're not anywhere near a margin call. We never were, never have been, never will be, because the way we use margin is very conservative in my opinion, okay? I use certain thresholds in my account. I follow my available withdrawal. I follow, my leverage ratios, and that's all found in volume 3, all right? Also, how I use maintenance and what maintenance is, that's in volume 3. All right, so here we see YMAG, again, the maintenance is 50%, same as YMAX, and I think the yield can grow higher. Now, why do I keep mentioning this, this, I don't know, I would say boring fun to most people, YMAG? Look at that dividend yield. Well, you can maximize it, okay? You can get more out of YMAG. First of all, I can pair YMAG. I can pair it, not compare. I can pair it with the triples, obviously, FANG, GU, all right? So go look at this return for TQQ, for example. 10,000 invested made you 230,000 over 10 years. All right, that's going to blow away what any single leverage fund is doing, obviously. And I have TQQ up here because that's not FANGU, okay? We have FANGU, but there's not enough information on FANGU because it just kind of came out not too long ago. All right, so because they restructured. So FANGU, but look at the low to high here. We had 6,000 to 10,000. And if you see my past videos, you know that 10,000 in this made you, I want to say it was 700,000, but that could have been Soxel. It was something huge, like 400,000, something in the hundreds of thousands, okay, over a 10-year time frame. And obviously, FANGU was the best performer over TQQ. But again, we don't have that information here. Go see my past videos. So I'm trying to make money here at this channel, okay? I'm trying to live financially free out of my brokerage account. And YMAG helps me do this because YMAG is giving me qualifying income to live free from 9 to 5, okay? It gives me that qualifying income to qualify for loans, all right, which you would need a pay stub to do. And also, it's still the same maintenance as YMAX with those quality holdings, okay? These are top quality holdings. These holdings in YMAG are over 10% of the indexes, okay? If you go to, for example, QQQ, you see the YMAG, YMAG, the Magnificent 7. Look at these, 10%, 8%, Microsoft, 7%, Apple. So you're at over 30% here in the NASDAQ alone, and in the S&P, way over 10%. With the holdings of the Mag 7. So you're going to get your index exposure. In other words, you're going to get your growth because look at what FANGD will do for you. 6,000 to 10, FANGU, 6,000 to 10,000. I mean, that's pretty much, that's 100% gain if you have it down at 5,000. It was a little under 6 here. Call it 5 with a little over 10. So just say, 100% bounce from the lows. And many members know the triples that I use in my account are how I get these days gains, okay? We're at 1.19. Again, if you were to look at what I'm doing with margin, you would see that we're actually, beating the market hand over fist. Okay, we're at 1.5%. We can control what we earn with our margin. I keep saying this. If you have $500,000 of margin debt and you have $1 million of an account size, then you're getting do whatever the index does times 1.5. All right, and so that's pretty much what we're doing today. We're getting these gains, this outperformance, as you can see here, 1.5 versus the NASDAQ above 1.2. But we're getting this with YMAG and pairing it with the triples like FANGU. And there are ways to use triples without being risky, okay? I talk all about that in volume 7. That's how we had such a huge bounce back from the lows, all right, was using the triples. And also, we have a lot of margin debt, but we never had any issues deleveraging from the highs because, again, I talk all about that in volume 7. And we always outperform the NASDAQ the entire way down. Members saw that when they, follow my members-only videos. And chat as well. Members, let me know how you've been doing with FANGU, for example, in these triples. Volume 7, how did you like volume 7, for example? That's how we're getting these gains. I mean, sure, look at these gains here. This is another way that you can maximize YMAG. Hey, these are just my sold puts, which you can see, stocks were up 1,000 today. BidX, 100, 200 bucks here, add it all up, 500 or so. Some days my sold puts, they engineer my day's gains. We'll have 4,000 to 5,000 in days gains with sold puts. And these are the most conservative way to pair your growth with YMAG. Okay, so for example, TQQQ, which you don't see here because I've closed that recently for nice gains. We have obviously Soxel, which the semiconductors, Soxel, there's a lot of Mag 7 names. You have NVIDIA, for example, the top 10. You have Avgo in the top 10. So the Mag 7, NVIDIA, you can get your exposure through FANG, through these names, by selling puts on TQQQ or QQY. We sell puts on Defiance here. Selling puts on Defiance, QQY, that lowered my maintenance to 20%, and it preserved a lot of equity, and it paid down my margin. So that's what's so great about selling these puts. They're the safest way to buy anything, in my opinion, because you're just selling time. You're just getting premiums. We received over $50,000 just from clicking a mouse, clicking sell put, sell to open. And, we lowered our margin by $50,000 in the process, lowering our margin interest. We're getting more gains from these, as you can see, days gains, but I don't take the days gains. I take the premiums towards expiration. And if we got a sign at the lows, then that would be great because we make a lot more daily gains. As you can see, we're up 25,000. We would be up so much more if we got a sign in those puts. And I never get a sign because, again, that's so rare to get a sign in the puts that we do. If you need help selling puts, that's all in volume 6. All right, selling puts is how I just manufacture my income, manufacture my day's gains, lower my margin, manufacture my margin interest, and I can do whatever I want with these. I can close these at any time, but I'm just going to, why would I close these when I'm getting such high premiums with such low risk? Look at the cost basis for some of these funds, and then I just hold them till expiration. So this is a way, once again, you can pair your YMAG growth with options. You can sell options on TQQ. You can't sell options on FANGU, obviously, because they don't have options. But you can sell TQQ. You can do QQY, which doesn't have as much in premiums, but that lowers your maintenance. And we've already closed our TQQ. But Soxel, we have 25 contracts at $8. If you did $10, 25 contracts, that's a substantial amount of money right there. Just look at do the math and how much. Look, we have 13,000 left in this position. We've earned 7, so that gave us about 20,000 just for doing this, and that lowered our margin once again. So that's the trick for how I'm getting ahead. That's how I'm getting these days gains. It's selling those put options, okay? Not buying options for insurance, selling put options for growth, all right, and going on offense. Again, that's in volume 6 if you need help with selling put options. I can't answer, all the questions here in one video, obviously. Okay, so another thing you can do and pair another thing you do to get more outperformance with YMAG and to pair it with something else that's viable, okay, is obviously CRF. We always talk about Cornerstone here, but CRF is more the NASDAQ side of things. That's why the premiums for Cornerstone are higher, okay, the CRF, okay, 20% premium here for CLM. You have, 19% premium. Let's refresh this one more time. 19.9 for CRF, so they're pretty much at par value right now, and 19.3 for CLM. The reason why it's a little higher, again, for CRF is because it's more growth oriented. Go look at the holdings. Same holdings as CLM, but more tilted with their allocations on the side of growth. Okay, and usually CRF blows away CLM as far as premiums go. And Cornerstone, if no one knows what I'm talking about, it's a 4-star fund. All right, so, and it moves upper, left, or right on its chart. So you can't say anything bad about Cornerstone except you're getting the same day's gains as you would with the market. Look, CRF, we're at 0.22% today. It's done well recently. Look at a 5-day chart. It's just been on the rise, and it kind of leads the market higher and lower, in my opinion. It's one of the largest closed-end funds in the world. And so CLM, I mean, it's up 0.6, and it's not doing what the indexes are doing today. The indexes are up 1%, but let's just watch Cornerstone catch up, okay? We're consolidating right here, and, you can play this pretty easily. You can manufacture your gains, once again, manufacture your retirement, honestly, with Cornerstone, because you can sell at the highs and buy at the lows. That's what we talk about in Volume 4. All right, we sold here at the highs because that's what Discord alerts you of. When you buy my e-guide, you get free Discord for life. Okay, this is the Discord chat room. We have over 2,500 members here, and you can see the Cornerstone announcement here. We get the N2 filing and the announcement. That's why Discord is so valuable. People always ask me, where do I start in Discord? Just watch for the alert, okay? That's what this is for. All the other stuff here, loans for fire, and like we just started this loans for fire channel. We have this Australian channel, Canadian channel, but this loans for fire channel, this one's really been going crazy. I started this last week, and so many members have great ideas here for getting ahead. All right, so that's how I live free from 9 to 5. It's from my dividends, qualifying for loans. That's how we level up. And, we have a channel here for that. So you can check all that out. But the most important thing here is the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. All right, because we got the N2 filing right here at this time. And so we were all selling after hours. And then we reloaded, during the RO. Okay, so that's how you really level up with Cornerstone. And I buy a lot more at the lows than many people might, and so that's how I've really gotten ahead from 15,000 after Corona to over $1 million. Okay, I've had about 400,000 to 500,000 in loans, and I've gotten all my gains from Cornerstone, which is in Volume 4. Please play that properly. And I've gotten my other gains from the triples. And when you combine those with Cornerstone, you have, the triple C's, which is, again, Volume 7. All right, so Cornerstone, I mean, can you just buy Volume 7 and just, learn about Cornerstone and the triples that way? Not really. It's a summary of Cornerstone, but Volume 7 is more so a summary of how I use Yieldmax, Rec Shares, the triples, even the doubles, which we don't talk much about in Volume 7. The doubles are an extension of what we do here at this channel, but the double mags, okay? So you can pair Fangu with these other funds. Like I've told you, you can pair YMAG with Fangu. You can pair, YMAG with these sold options. You can pair YMAG with CRF in a way, all right? I know that sounds like a stretch, but it's really not. Wait till the premiums catch up in CRF. They're, again, much higher than CLM usually because it's NASDAQ related. And you can take your gains from the triples, okay, Fangu, and make a lot more money than you would just sitting around in a MAGS, a Maggie or even a YMAG. You have to combine them, And so that's how we're getting these days gains, okay? Because if you go look at what YMAX is doing today, 0.92, that's part of our days gains. ULTY 0.83, also a big part of our days gains. But where are we getting the true gains, okay? It's from things like the triples, okay? And, TQQ, I consider that to be similar to Fangu. But obviously Fangu moves more, not every day, but usually on an up day in the market, Fangu moves up much more. Okay, it's up 3.37, but again, some names in Fangu are down, like Tesla, okay? And also, again, our double mags, like all of our double leverage vehicles for Apple, even things outside of the Mag 7, like AMD, for example, our AMUU caught 100% gain in about a month, okay? And you can see all my holdings in my portfolio. So that's how we're getting these days gains. We're using YMAG to get our dividends, but then we're using these vehicles that you can pair with YMAG. You can also short YMAG with FANG-D. Okay, you can't pair anything with ULTY until they have SALTY, SLTY. You can't pair anything with YMAX really except my put options. Okay, the put options that we buy on the indexes themselves, you can use that to pair with YMAX to get downside protection. You can use maybe a triple on the upside for YMAX, but it's not really the index anymore to mirror with like a UPRO because it has those other speculative names. So we're using the triples here in a large way, both in down markets and up markets, and that's how we're outperforming so much, as you can see. And you use these triples to get real gains, people. All right, so you're getting dividends. Yes, we're getting dividends of over 700,000. We could push that to $1 million if we want, but we're trying to be safe. I think by the end of the year we can get to $1 million, but for now we're trying to do it all safely. And in the meantime, I don't really care about market value, okay, net account value, which is 1.75. I don't care what that is. All I care about is what is invested, okay, 2.1 million. That's how I'm really getting this outperformance, okay, and I'm using YMAG. It's a big part of my margin strategy, and I combine it with the triples. But you got to do the triples, you got to use them safely, okay, which we talk about in Volume 7. And you have to use these other funds that we talk about, like Cornerstone. You have to, obviously play those around the premium thresholds. And with the sold puts here, all of this is easy, okay? It just sounds like maybe it's a foreign language if you're just hearing this. But if you're a member and you're used to this, then this is all easy stuff. It's intuitive. Then the sold puts that you sell, make sure you do these properly as well. Okay, don't just go sell 0 DTE puts like so many people do. I don't know why they do that. There's a huge risk of assignment risk in a down market, and you could get killed. You have to sell more contracts just to make a difference. I sell minor amounts of contracts here, still get tons of premiums, lower my margins significantly, still get the outperformance that we're accustomed to. All right, so once again, we're living financially free out of our brokerage accounts using Yieldmax and margin. If you need help doing the same, email me for my e-guides at akintodd48@gmail.com. You can also head to my website, unconventionalwealthideas.com. All right, remember, we're extending the deadline until the end of August, okay? That's when the Marcos Milla promo code runs out, promo code Marcos for a 10% discount. I just want to make sure, again, I don't leave anyone behind. I don't have anyone complaining that I raised prices, right after, they inquired about it. Right before they inquired. So, all right, I'm going to get to the chat now, see if y'all have any questions, see if y'all have any better suggestions or pushback on what you think, this idea means for your portfolio. Okay, YMAG, pairing it with Fangu, pairing it with FangD, pairing it with all these other strategies that I listed in this video. Hey, Frosty, hey, Rush, and don't forget 40% returns, okay? So I know, again, it might have been a little bit boring seeing the lower yield. Everyone just wants these high dividend yields. I get it, to qualify for more income and just to have more income, it looks good. But 42%, you have to follow that. That's YMAX, and for YMAG, you have 43%. So YMAG even beats YMAX on a total return basis right there. All right, and again, you can pair this with other things. That's what's important. You can't really pair YMAX cleanly with other things. You can't pair ULTY cleanly with other things. So that's just how and I have many other funds like this that could compete with ULTY and YMAX. Stay tuned for those. It's not only about these funds that are actually outperforming, it's about how we maximize them, okay? Again, hey, Frosty Dog, thanks to all my admin, Frosty, Jetta, Gaines, Hashor, and Ray, all right? Frosty, you've really been just on the front lines for me lately. Thank you so much. The Discord's growing, and I really appreciate you moderating those conversations. So many great conversations. As long as we stay, on topic with the channels. If you're talking about loans in the Cornerstone channel, obviously Frosty's gonna, have to tell you, and that's just better for all of our viewers to have things more organized. Okay, hey Rush, hey Justin, Capital G, Ricky, thanks again, Frosty. Christopher, J Chief, hello. Thanks for joining, J Chief. Hey Fig Tart, Capital G, glad you could catch us live. Yeah, no service. Yeah, that can be tough when you don't have service. Thanks for making it. Yeah, green portfolio. I see Capital G's up 27% year to date. Thanks for all of your education, Todd. Thank you so much, Capital G. That's fantastic. Hey, FOMO. Thank you. Okay, Maddie. Hey there. Ryan, what's going on? Daily Dose, let's go. Okay, OARC, I assume. Lower maintenance. That was the last video, J Chief. And yeah, that was a great video, I thought. And yeah, that had lower maintenance, so that was a secret. And that's why I focused on that one first. But YMAG, I mean, I'm going to just, talk about some of the other holdings within my portfolio in the coming weeks that can really compete with ULTY and YMAX, especially if you know how to maximize them, like we discussed in this video. Hey, Niraj, Vintage. Hey, Mom. That's my mom, Patty. She's downstairs. TJ's at school finally, though, so she's probably feeling the boredom like I am right now. Vintage, you have 1,000 shares of YMAG and you really like it. Yeah, me too. It's top 5, I think, for me, at least the top 10. Hey, Ricardo, FOMO, nice. You just trimmed some profits on YMAG, my second largest holding. There you go, FOMO. See, I'm not alone here. See, great minds think alike. And also my members can replicate my portfolio. And I think that those allocations are there for good reason, okay? And I think everyone sees the logic in those. Tiger, YMAG, YMAX, ULTY combo, weekly distributions galore. YMAG has quality underlyings with the 7 securities, returning similar results than YMAX. Yeah, and it might actually fall less on a down day, Tiger, because YMAX has those speculative names. And again, we can pair it with a FANG-D cleanly. We can't really pair YMAX with something. Hey, Eve, great point, Tiger. Good to see you. Three Face, I like the idea of investing for this, but this style of investing is expired. Please elaborate, Three Face. Hey, GS, is the portfolio and trades in Discord? No, that's in YouTube. Okay, Discord is free, and that's the value of Discord. You have all those channels. You can talk about finance there, whatever, anything under the sun, finance related. But it's the Cornerstone rights offering announcement. That's the big value for Discord. All right, that and my phone number comes with the e-guides for a limited time. Okay, again, I'm raising prices this at the end of the month, and I'm going to take my phone number away after that because this is just ridiculous. All right, I am too bogged down. I gave everyone my number, all right, to start this while we were growing and I was building trust with years. Today, look at our performance. We're up 22%. I mean, and I would keep doing this same thing for everyone, except now I have no time because I get all these new phone calls and I have no time, and so that's why I have to raise prices. Good morning, Raymond. I'm just going to say, Al-Tafi, I missed your videos in like 2 months. Catch me up. Okay. See our members' videos. Good to see you. Oh, gosh. Where were we in this chat? Okay. Jake, wait, let me make sure I didn't miss that. Something here. Okay. Total returns look great on that. Yeah, exactly. How can you argue with that math? Prince. Ryan, Schwab's maintenance is better across the board for YMAX. All the main funds are 30%. Great information, Ryan. All right, so that's going to really give you a boost when you're trying to live free out of your brokerage account, because even if you're not using margin, you have more equity to withdraw from. Hey, Beavis, GS, do you have to use margin or can you start without? You don't have to use margin, of course. It's hard to get ahead without debt. All the greats use debt to get ahead. Elon Musk used margin to acquire X, for example. You just have to use your debt. Hey, Jake, hello, what percentage should Cornerstone be of my account? Does that include the total margin as well? I would say email me, Jake, or we'll talk about, you can call me, Jake, or we'll do that in the members only video. Okay, that gets more nuanced and it would take some time to explain, depending on whether you're using margin or not. Boo to you. Thank you. FOMO, he also shows and backs it up. Oh, yeah, I guess that's what Boo to you is trying to say. He thinks that I'm just talking a lot and not getting the results. Thank you so much, FOMO. Yeah, for 3 years straight. I've been doing this for 20 years, and I'm just trying to figure out how to maximize my dividends and days gains every day. And now we have the perfect combination in the portfolio of capital gains and dividends. And I think it's going to serve us well going forward without the risk. Okay, you see all that margin, but a lot of that is short. Okay, a lot of subscribers don't realize that I have a lot of short vehicles, not just put options. Again, all those are in volume 5, how I use my shorts. Hey, Green. Hey, Greg. Hey, Todd. Bought more CLM going into the dividend. Hey, all right. Good to see you, Greg. You're going to get that drip at NAV too if you do that, buy before the X date. So that's going to be nice. It's going to be 20% extra, 19% extra gains on top of your 20% dividend every month. All right, that's the greatest thing about Cornerstone. Run, can you do a video on just your puts, how you do it and how to get started? Yeah, you can see those. I have some puts, members only put videos, I think, and also just some public videos. Check those out, Run. Also check out Volume 6. And then call me if you have questions on Volume 6. Hey, Red, what do you think about the new WPay that's supposed to come out? Red, XPay, WPay, we'll talk about that. That's a good question. But if I'm not mistaken, those are around 20% yields. And with that similar kind of yield, I'm gonna go with Cornerstone all day with all the other perks. Now, YMAG, I think the yield could actually be a little higher, but YMAG, it's going to give you a little bit more growth than, let's say, a pure index vehicle would give you, because it's the concentrated part of the index. So for many reasons, YMAG is a top holding for me, Red. And we'll talk about those more when they come out, or when we get more information. Hey, Green. Hey, Greg. YMAX is 50% at Schwab. Okay, I don't know. Please verify. Also check Discord, because that's the brokerage specifics channel in Discord. That's where we tell you, which broker has which maintenance. Okay, it's right here in Discord. Okay, go to the brokerage specifics channel right here. Okay, specifics on brokerages right there. Okay, let me go to the testimonials. I have to update those. Okay, so all right, pull up the chat again. Okay. Rush, I love how you think, Todd. Thank you for your wisdom and intellect. Oh, thank you so much, Rush. I appreciate you. Run for any. What do you do if E-Trade will only give you level 1 but not level 2? How do you protect your account for market crashes? Good question. Just call them, okay? They'll walk you through it. Hey, Ryan, 30% for you. All right, yeah, so if you're at 50%, Greg, it could mean that you're over-concentrated in something. Please look into that. Health and wealth. Hey, health and wealth, what's going on? I'm doing well. Thanks for asking, health and wealth. Hope you're doing okay too. Archangel, what's the yield for Fengu? There is no yield. It's just leverage, and it outperforms everything under the sun that we've covered today over a 10-year period. Okay, Ryan, wish I could post a screenshot, but for me it's 30%. Yeah, and it could be, again, over concentration issues. That's what raises maintenance. Hey, Henrik. Let me get here. Henrik, good to see you. Okay. John, when is ebook 8 coming out? John, thanks for asking that. The manual for how I construct my portfolio. I'm still working on it. I just get phone calls all the time, and I really got to take away my phone number. I can't believe I did that for so long. But you do have my phone number. You're grandfathered in forever. All of my members know how to talk to me. They know how to value my time, and they don't really cause too much trouble. It's all the new members that come in, and it's just hard to deal with the new ones, okay? So I'm going to have to cut that off at the end of the month as well, but I haven't really made that an official announcement yet. So thanks for asking, John. Okay, when I get more time, I'll finish that. Okay, I'm like halfway through. Raymond, do we worry about NAV erosion with ULTY? Great question, Raymond. All right, and you look at the total returns, you see a different story. It's how you play it, Raymond, and I think that the way we're playing it is maximizing it, dripping on dips, etc. Good question, Raymond. And again, I don't ever worry about NAV erosion for anything. It's how I pair it with other things to offset the erosion, like we talked about with YMAG and Fengu today. YouTube is a separate membership. Yeah, YouTube memberships are separate. That's a monthly charge. If people want RO alerts texted to them, SMS texts are expensive for me to do. If you want all that, that's a separate charge in YouTube. Most people buy my e-guides, get the foundation, and then they follow me after on YouTube. All right, and then Discord's meant just for the rights offering alert. Where was I in the chat? Okay, let me get it to a place where it's a little bit better on the eyes there. Okay, we'll just leave it on the RO page here. Okay, Greg, you don't use margin. Okay, right. Yeah, just watch your maintenance. Hey, Ryan, but at the same time, no taxes, so it evens out. Exactly. ROC dividends, love it. Fox, your mic is being weird. Not sure if it's my internet, but it slightly cuts out every now and then. Rush, I've noticed no issues with his mic. Thank you so much, Rush. Okay, J Chief, no mic issues. Eve, thank you, J Chief. Eve, I didn't miss your live today. Thank you, Todd, for your time and sharing your knowledge with us. Of course, Eve. Thank you for being here. Fox, Gato, Todd, you're the GOAT. Thank you, Gato. Really appreciate that. I'm just a man sharing what works with me. Hope you all can benefit from it. Raymond, sorry, maybe I missed it. What can ULTY be paired with? YMAX? We didn't talk about ULTY pairings today. We talked about YMAG pairings. Rush, salty, but it hasn't been released yet. Exactly. Barry, just starting out, bought 600 shares. Raymond's talking about pairing ULTY with salty. Just waiting on that release. Barry, just starting out, bought 600 shares of ULTY. Should I drip and grow it or take the cash? Barry, it's a good question. I would say follow my members only videos. You get to see how I do it. I like to drip on dips. Okay, Raymond, Sigma, your first live. Welcome, Sigma. Okay. Dylan, in your opinion, what is a good pairing for ULTY? Well, all the holdings in my account, Dylan, that's what I use, okay, to outperform with ULTY, and check out those holdings anytime, okay, or in my members' videos. Hey, retire on dividends. All right. Look forward to doing our podcast sometime in the future as well. All right, Jeremy, you're the man, Todd. You've changed a lot of lives. Thank you, Jeremy. I'll just say everyone might have different ratios because it depends on your concentration. You're welcome, Fox. You're welcome, Dylan. I'll edit this last part out as well. Dylan, you're welcome. Justin, good stuff. Good luck. Ophir, SLVO, you'll thank me later. Thanks, Ophir. Good to see you. Jared, sound cutting out every 5 seconds. Sorry, Jared. Southern Country. Hey, Todd, great stuff. Hey, good seeing you, Southern Country. All right, I hate to give up everyone's names, but you know, we were just talking today, so good to see you, Southern. Hey, Stefan. Hey, Rush. Thank you. Thank you, Rush. Raymond, you're welcome. Gabe, what do you think about the strategy of funneling 100% high yielders distributions to basic S&P and VU? Actually, I was just going to leave this for the end and say I like to funnel my ULTY dividends into my margin, pay down my YMAG faster, and then we get to break even faster on YMAG. Thanks for staying till the end, everyone, because I think that's a slight little gem I had in my notes that I wanted to save to the end, which was, we use our ULTY, our massive dividends from ULTY, to then pay down our margins so fast that we pay down our YMAG position faster, reach break even faster, lower our risk in YMAG. We use ULTY to supercharge the other positions. Would never do it with a VU, okay, or something like that, because that doesn't give you any money in a down market. Good question, though. Magnum, your best 3 income ETFs, what would they be? Okay, we'll talk about that in the next video because we got to go. Great question. Or see my members only videos. Upgraded to membership SMS portfolio trades. Thank you. Interesting vids. Please email me if you are in the SMS services and you want me to add you in. Please email me and say, I'm in the 20 a month or I'm in the 50 a month. Please give me your YouTube name and your number and I'll add you into those SMS texts. Thanks again. Interesting vids. Okay. Talk to you soon. Stay tuned for those updates. Hey, Eric, thanks for what you do. New over here last few weeks, and you should raise your prices. Well worth it. Thank you. Hey, Eric, thank you so much. I have to. There's no other way around it now. And I really appreciate you saying that, Eric, because I am dying, okay? Between having to take TJ to school now and dealing with all these calls, which I've missed a few already today, I'm gonna have to do that, unfortunately. Thank you, Eric. And also, this is a great value. And this is one of the most special portfolios you can find on YouTube, and I think it's well worth the value, of course. Hey, Jay Chief, upgraded to the SMS portfolio trades. Okay, thank you. That's 2 of y'all. Really appreciate y'all. And make sure you email me as well, Jay Chief, okay? Daily Dose, grandfathered in. Yes, you are Daily Dose, forever, okay? Of course, inversions, Magnum 44, always, okay? AYK 42. Great stuff, Todd. I got your e-guides. I have a lot of single stocks and have your high equity on it. Should I sell and buy the C's for an anchor? That's a great question. Text me, okay, and we'll go more in depth. AYK, all right? Cheers to you, Inversiones. I think I'm saying that right. Magnum 44 going forward. Okay, Jake, I'm not sure if you're raising prices will give you back your time. You probably need to change some of how you manage. Yes, well, trust me, I'm thinking about that every day. It's like a dilemma for me now. I just don't want to leave anyone behind, okay? All right, so if you're just now joining this live, email me for my e-guides at aikentod48@gmail.com or head to my website, Unconventional Wealth Ideas, okay? You can see all about our FIRE movement here. All right, I'll see you on the next video. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.